Before we begin, please imagine the bell notification is on and you're subscribed to Huna Stories. The first thing I noticed was how quiet the sea was when I woke up. Not cinematic quiet, just the steady, unbothered sound of water doing what it had always done. I'd chosen the cruise because it felt anonymous. No one knew me. No one needed anything. I could eat when I wanted, sleep when I wanted, disappear into crowds that didn't look back. My phone had been face down since the night before. That was intentional. I told myself this trip was about rest, not vigilance. Still, when I turned it over, there were messages stacked like missteps. One from my mother, one from my neighbor, then another from my mother, longer this time. I opened the neighbor's first. A photo loaded slowly. 3 small backpacks on my front porch, one tipped over, a sock half spilling like a dropped thought. The caption was brief. "Your family left these kids here about an hour ago. I stayed for a bit. Call me." I sat on the edge of the bed and let the air conditioning hum fill the space where my pulse should have been loud. There was no shock that surprised me, just a familiar tightening, the same one I'd felt since childhood, whenever a small favor arrived already decided. My mother had said it plainly a week earlier. "You don't have a stable job right now, so you can watch your brother's kids." Not a question, a sorting of usefulness. I had said I was traveling. She'd laughed lightly, as if trips were theoretical things people like me talked about but didn't really take. The second message from her was all caps and punctuation. "Come back and fix this now." I didn't call her. I didn't text. I stood, showered, dressed on the deck. The morning was bright in a way that felt almost rude. People were already lining up for coffee, for pastries shaped like crescents that promised softness. I took one and ate it slowly, noticing the way my hands trembled and then stopped. Silence wasn't new between my mother and me, but this kind was. Usually it followed arguments. This time it was deliberate, structured. I was buying time, not to escape responsibility, but to let it land where it belonged. By noon, the calls started. I watched the phone light up and go dark again. Each voicemail preview carried the same urgency, the same certainty that if she applied enough pressure, I would fold. I remembered being 12, holding my brother's baby while she ran errands that took hours. 17, canceling plans because family comes first. 32, still being measured by availability. When the ship docked for a brief stop, I checked messages again. A new one appeared, not from her, a number I didn't recognize. "This is Child Services. We're calling regarding 3 minors left unattended at a private residence." The words were calm, almost gentle. No accusation, just fact. I called back, explained where I was, explained that I had not agreed to watch the children, that I was out of the country, that my mother had access to keys but not permission. The woman on the line listened without interruption, asked clarifying questions, took notes. There was a pause then. "Thank you. We'll handle it from here." That was it. No lecture, no judgment. Authority didn't arrive with drama. It arrived with process. Later, my mother called again. Her voice was hoarse now, stripped of volume. She said my name the way she used to when I was small and she was tired, like it was a lever she could still pull. I let it ring out. That night at dinner, I barely tasted the food. Not because of guilt, exactly, but because something had shifted and my body didn't know where to place it yet. Relief sat beside grief. You don't grow up in a family like mine without learning that boundaries cost something. When I finally listened to her last voicemail, it was shorter, angrier, but less sure. She said I'd embarrassed her, said family doesn't do this to each other. She didn't ask if I was okay. She didn't ask where I was. The next day, the sea was rougher. I stood at the railing and let the wind push against me, steady and impersonal. I thought about the kids, not with panic, but with trust that they were safe, that systems existed for moments like this. I thought about my brother, who hadn't called at all. When I returned home days later, the porch was empty, clean, the backpacks were gone. So was the sense that I needed to explain myself. My mother didn't speak to me for weeks. When she finally did, it was cautious, clipped. Something essential had changed. Not fixed, not healed, just rearranged. She no longer spoke as if my time were hers by default. I didn't feel victorious, I felt intact. there's a difference. The sea, I realized, had taught me something simple. Distance doesn't mean abandonment. Sometimes it's the only way to see where one thing ends and another begins.